Hi, and welcome everybody to another edition of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. I'm Ross Benjamin of RBWins.com. He's Jesse Schul from jesseshul.com, and we're going to be discussing four NCAA tournament games on Thursday the 16th, and we're going to have two free picks apiece, and Jesse will be covering the Penn State versus Texas A&M game. And also, he'll be looking at the West Virginia and Maryland game. I'll be looking at Illinois and Arkansas and Utah State and Missouri. But without further ado, Jesse, how are you, my friend?
I am doing well, Ross. Really looking forward to Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, and as I understand it, last year, you got off to a terrific start in round one of the NCAA tournament. Share that with the folks.
Well, perfect 8-0 in the first round of the tournament. So guess how many plays I put out for the first round this year?
8.
You betcha. Yeah. And I'm not guaranteeing that they're all going to win. I'm just going to guarantee you that I like them all quite a bit.
There's a reason why they call him Mr. Perfect. That's Jesse Schul. So let's get right to the action without further ado. As I know the folks are eager at this time of year to pick our brains, and whether you agree or disagree, that's okay, folks. Just be respectful if you want to comment on it, and we'll give you our answers or feedback in return in a respectful manner as well. So let's get right to it. Let's start with Penn State and A&M. Very intriguing matchup, Jesse. Is right now Texas A&M is a 3.5-point favorite. And the total is 134.5. Texas A&M, the number 2 team from the SEC, enjoyed a very good season. And also, we're looking at a Penn State team that came on late in the year and advanced all the way to the Big Ten final, in which they lost by 2 to Purdue. And Purdue is the number 1 seed in the tournament. So what do you got for us?
I like this Texas A&M team, Ross. I think the bookmakers haven't been giving them enough respect. I did have the Aggies in the SEC conference tournament final. They came up short against Alabama, but no shame in that. Alabama's one of the top 2-3 teams in the country. So I just like the way the Aggies were playing at the end of the year. I don't really like the way that Penn State was playing at the end of the year. They were losing a lot of games that they probably should have been winning. They blew a lot of leads late in certain games, lost a couple games at home and I had bet on Penn State in a few of those games, and I got a bit of a bad taste in my mouth for the Nittany Lions. And then you have the Big Ten. Some would say that it's a down year for the Big Ten this year. Perhaps not as strong as it was in the past few years. So I definitely like Texas A&M, and I think it's kind of a short line.
Yeah, Jesse likes Texas A&M minus 3.5 against Penn State. Again, all these games we're discussing today take place on Thursday the 16th, folks. So take note of that. That Texas A&M game will go at 9:55 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday, and the game will be played in Des Moines, Iowa. Anyway, I have mixed emotions about this game. I just discussed with all of you guys yesterday on the NCAA tournament show, which you were part of, Jesse, that really good defensive teams could really make some hay in the NCAA tournament. And the reason being is you're not always going to have your A game when it comes to offense. And Texas A&M is certainly one of the best defensive teams, not only in the SEC, but in the country. However, the only thing I worry about with Texas A&M, Jesse, is they have a tendency to struggle offensively. As a matter of fact, I think they shot under 40% several times over their last 10 games. I don't have that exact amount, but that would be my only concern. And Penn State, I know you got a bad taste in your mouth. It's just that they advanced to the Big Ten final. They played 4 games in 4 days. They barely lose to Purdue. I don't know exactly what you're referring to as they struggled down the stretch, because they actually were really good down the stretch. It must have been the one or two games.
The one games that I bet on them. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Anyway, all right. So Jesse Shule, he likes the Texas A&M Aggies -3.5 against Penn State. I don't know if I'm 100% in agreement with that, but you know what? This guy went 8-0 in the first round last year of the NCAA tournament. I wouldn't buck him. That's for sure. Anyway, I'm going to take a look at my first game, which will be Utah State and Missouri. This game, again, on Thursday the 16th. Right now, Utah State's a 1.5 or 2-point favorite in this contest. And I'm going to be concentrating on the side here, so I'm not even going to go to the total. Look, Utah State lost in the Mountain West Conference final to San Diego State. That's a nationally ranked San Diego State team, 62-57. That snapped a 7-0 straight up in ATS run by the Aggies. That's the Utah State Aggies, not the Texas A&M Aggies. And by the way, three of those wins came a pair over Boise State and another one over Nevada. And those two teams are NCAA tournament bound. And they also registered a win over New Mexico, who is in the NIT and has a tremendous record. So 4 Mountain West Conference teams in the tournament this year, Jesse. Ordinarily, I would say when the Mountain West team plays a power conference team in the NCAA tournament, with the exception of maybe the San Diego States over the years, have struggled. But you know what? In this year, you're looking at strength of schedule in Utah State in Missouri. You're looking at Missouri is number 53 in terms of strength of schedule, and Utah State number 55. Very close in proximity, which shows you the strength of the MWC compared to the top-heavy SEC in my estimation. And also Utah State 3-0 straight up in ATS this year as a neutral site single-digit favorite, winning by 11.3 points per game. So I'm going to go with Utah State here on the money line. I'm going to take Utah State -125 on the money line over Missouri. Your thoughts, Jess?
Well, the fact that they're a slight favorite, I think, tells you quite a bit. And I know your style is when you see something like that, you're all over it. Utah State's been impressive. The Mountain West has been impressive. Missouri, inconsistent in my opinion. A team that can come out and play a good game at times and can be absolutely horrible at other times. So I don't dislike the pick, although it does feel like a tough call to me, this game.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing to look at, Missouri here, number 266 in defending the 3 out of 363 Division I teams are number 266. On the other hand, Utah State is number 313, in 3-point shooting percentage at 38.5%. So you got one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the country against one of the worst in defending the 3. Additionally, Missouri, they're number 276 in free throws allowed. So they give up a ton of free throws. And Utah State, by the way, number 29 in the country at 76.7% conversion rate from the free throw line. Just figured I'd throw that in as well. All right, let's get to Jesse's second game, and I'll let him take it away.
West Virginia and Maryland, an early game. We're going to talk what I mentioned before about the strength of the conferences. And I think the fact that the committee is putting in a West Virginia team that, was ranked near the bottom of the Big 12 rather than closer to the bottom than the top. I believe they were 7th or 8th in the Big 12. That tells you a lot about the Big 12 conference. West Virginia, I liked the way they finished the season. They didn't win all their games, but they were in all their games. Maryland lost 3 of their final 4 games. I just think the Big 12, surviving the gauntlet of the Big 12, making the tournament, playing against teams like Kansas and Texas and all the big boys in the Big 12 will bode well for West Virginia. I'm a little bit concerned with West Virginia on the road. They were so much better at home than they are on the road. But near the end of the year, I think they proved to me that they could compete at neutral sites. I'm going to lean towards West Virginia here as I think money line is probably the way I'd go. This line is pretty short.
Yeah, we're West Virginia's -2. Let me see if I can get a money line for you guys. And you know what, Jesse, in terms of your concern about the home and away splits for West Virginia, Maryland, you could put them in the same category. I mean, you look at the fact that Maryland went unbeaten in the Big Ten Conference in home games this year. Not so good on the road. As a matter of fact, they were like 1-7 straight up at ATS. Not a good record on the road. So that doesn't lend itself well. And I think that's a wash in terms of the home and away splits. Right now, we got West Virginia. The best line we could find is -130 at DraftKings. So Jesse likes West Virginia -130 over Maryland on the money line, and I don't disagree with him on that play. I highly doubt if I'm going to have a pick on that game, maybe the total, but not the side. And both teams scare me because they were, like Jesse alluded to, West Virginia very good at home, not so good on the road, and Maryland almost polar opposite. But when you would stop and think about it, you got to go with the team from the stronger conference here in a very close matchup. And so I'm going to agree with Jesse on this pick. Let me go to my next game, which is be Illinois and Arkansas. Right now, Arkansas is a 2-point favorite, and the total in this game is 143.5, and the total is going to be my area of focus. I'm going to make it real simple, Jesse. Neither one of these teams can shoot the three very well at all. As a matter of fact, Illinois number 331 and Arkansas number 304 in terms of three-point shooting percentage. And again, folks, there's only 363. Well, I shouldn't say only. There's 363 teams playing Division I basketball, and these teams are near the bottom of the standings or the ratings when it comes to three-point shooting. And neither one is good from the free throw line as well. I mean, Illinois number 307 and Missouri number 287. So in terms of gathering points from the free throw line and three-point line, these teams are very challenged. They like to play at a higher pace, which sometimes overcompensates for their lack of really good shooting. They do shoot the 2-point shots very well. But again, when you're talking about a total of 143.5, I have to take that into consideration. And by the way, Arkansas, number 16, according to KenPom, in defensive efficiency, while Illinois is number 32. That's nationally in defensive efficiency. So both teams very good defensively. Since 2013, Illinois 6-0 to the under in NCAA tournament games, and a combined score of 118.6 per game. While since 2017, Arkansas has played 8-2 to the under in their last 10 NCAA tournament games, averaging less than 140 points per game in those contests. I'm going to go Illinois, Arkansas under 143.5. Jesse, your take.
Well, Ross, I wasn't aware of the three-point shooting woes and the free throw woes for both these teams, but when I hear that, I'm a believer. And I generally like to lean toward unders at this time of year anyways. I think in the first round, as I said on the show yesterday, if you can't win games in the 50s and 60s, you're not going to make it too far in this tournament, because everybody's going to run into games where the shooting goes cold and it's a war of attrition, and this could be one of those games.
Shooting can go cold, but your defense, if you're playing, defense is always more consistent than the offensive side. If you get a team that has great defensive numbers going into the NCAA tournament, folks, you have to heavily consider that side against one that's mediocre to not very good defensively. And there are teams in the NCAA tournament, Jesse, that aren't very good defensively. They rely heavily on their three-point shooting and the pace of which they play. So we'll see. In any event, Jesse, tell the folks what you have coming up. You already indicated you got 8 NCAA tournament first round games up right now for sale at jesseshul.com. What else would you like to enlighten the audience on?
Well, it is $2 Tuesday at Sports Memo, and you can get my hockey play today for $2. So you might want to check that out at Sports Memo. You can follow me on Twitter at Jesse Shul, on YouTube, Jesse Shul Picks. I will be putting out some long shot picks for the NCAA tournament and NIT tournament a little later today. And as well as the NCAA tournament, hockey, soccer, and NBA from me.
There you go. JesseSchul.com is where you can find this guy. And if you're looking for a good deal, sportsmemo.com runs $2 Tuesdays where they take 3 handicappers and you can get all 3 handicappers picks for $5. Or you can get Jesse's individually for just $2. So where else can you go and buy a $2 pick from one of the finest handicappers in the world? Because I got to say world, because Jesse's in Thailand and they don't have daylight savings time there. So he's not only has to adjust from the big time difference from here to the States, but now he has to keep in the next couple of days, has to keep in mind when he's doing these videos, what time is it where they are? So in any event,
it's an
like
hour
you don't have
earlier than it
enough
was
to
2
worry
days
about.
ago.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, folks, you can find me at rbwins.com. It's rbwins.com. I entered the NCAA tournament, or I should say today, having gone 6-1 with my last 7 in college basketball. Folks, my college basketball totals, I can't emphasize this enough. Since March 11th of last year, 42-23. That's good for 65%, and I'll have plenty of them through the course of the NCAA tournament and NIT. Also, my college basketball 10-star top plays, which a lot of people would tab as their best bets. I don't give out more than one of those in a day, and sometimes I'll go a couple weeks without giving out one, but when I do identify one, 170-80 with my last 187, that's good for 57%. And dime bettors playing all of those picks made a net profit of over $19,000. And so there you have it, rbwins.com and jesseschul.com. 4 winners today in college basketball. Folks, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, take a second to do so. You'll see that OSGA label on the bottom right-hand side. Just hover over that. A subscribe tab will come up. Just click on subscribe. And while you're there, hit that notification bell or notification alert, and you'll be notified immediately upon any of our Winner's Circle sports betting podcasts going up on this channel. And also, don't forget, give us a like at the end of the video. Jesse, thanks again, and we'll see you tomorrow morning with me, you, and Sean Higgs. We'll be having 3 more college or NCAA tournament free picks, and those games will go on Friday. So look forward to that, Jesse.
Absolutely looking forward to it.
For Jesse Schul and Ross Benjamin, we like to wish each and every one of you all the very best, folks. Take care and God bless. Oops. Hold on.